Something else that's moving forward, buddy, that I'm kind of shocked about, but also not, because we never am. We reboot stuff all the time. But Carrie is moving forward, everybody, as a new Amazon series, 8-part episode series. Is it good? We'll find out in our reboot of the day. All right, Stephen King's novel Carrie is coming forward one more time in TV form now. Of course, by Mike Flanagan, who, again, this guy actually makes me interested because this guy has done some big stuff. The Haunting of Hill House, pretty big. Midnight Mass was massive over there on Netflix as well. The Fall of the House of Usher. There's like big stuff. Dr. Sleep. I know people gave shit sometimes, but I like Dr. Sleep. It was like the sequel to Shining. I kind of really liked it. And Ewan McGregor I liked, but people are still saying it's not the same. But you got this person behind Carrie. Now, of course, Carrie's come before. We had Carrie 2 we had the reboot 2 that came later. Can they make this work a third time on, well, I guess it's more than the third time now, but in a TV format now? 8 episodes, Amazon moving forward. They're working on casting. This has just been announced today, and nobody else attached to it. So we don't have any cast members, nothing like that. Just Carrie moving forward as a reboot. I just hope it doesn't become something like we were talking about before, like the CW a little bit. Yeah, another Carrie remake. Like the CW reboot where it's like a teeny bopper type deal where they have powers, or she has powers now. And it's going to be something different. She's got to deal with her, growing up, but also, having these telekinetic powers that appear and she has to master. I hope it's not that. I really do not hope it's like that. Amazon has done some great projects and they've been able to lean it more towards the cinematic route. So maybe this will work that way. Do we need this amount of time, 8 episodes to tell this story? That's my question I put out to the group today. Carrie is coming forward. Woo! Carrie. I see Allie's look right now, so I'm going to go to Allie first on this. Allie looks very, very enthralled. Okay, what do you think, Allie? Were you a fan of Carrie, and do you think that the TV format for this makes sense in this day and age, with this reboot coming forward?
This is the way to reboot this. As long as they don't make it weird, Rings of Power. I have a real problem with that intro still. But this is the proper way to reboot something that is a novel, because you can give it the appropriate amount of time to burn and for us to understand the character arc, as opposed to happening really fast. And the original movie is iconic. And then they did the remake, and I can't think of that girl's name right this second, but she's too.
Chloe.
No, yeah, Chloe something. She's just too cute. I was just I don't believe you're the outcast. I don't believe that anybody bullies you. I'm not buying this. So I think that pending casting, this is going to be really exciting and has the potential to do really well.
Is there anybody in mind right now you think could actually play this character, Carrie?
Not off the top of my head. I'm sure there's some youth that can do great, but
Zendaya.
I would hope they would go with an unknown. I would truly hope that they would go with an unknown for Carrie.
Ooh, well, I think Angela was shouting. So, who, Angela?
I'm just chiming in, we're talking.
Timothy Chalamet.
I agree. Yeah,
Timothy Chalamet is Carrie.
Timothy Chalamet, everybody.
Timothy Chalamet is every character in it. The mother,
everyone.
He's Eddie Murphy, and
he's the bullies.
Yeah.
that fat family. Oh, sorry.
The clumps. The clumps.
Yeah.
Timothy Chalamet is they're all gonna laugh at you, and then he's like, I know they are.
And then a picture of Kylie Jenner pop. Maybe it's Kylie Jenner. Maybe she's.
God,
sorry, circling there.
She's in the closet. She's in the praying closet. She's pumping her lips with the cup.
It's not telekinetic powers. It's not telekinetic powers this time. It's plastic surgery powers. Okay, Angela, what do you think about this?
Out of my family, please.
Angela, what do you think about this? Does this make sense to go in this format? And are you excited about it all?
I mean, I think it'll be I'm kind of jumping on the bandwagon with Allie on that. I think it's, again, how you introduce it, what you do with it. I think that having, Flanagan and King together is pretty much a dynamic duo right there for horror, especially, right?
Seems like it, right?
Yeah, I think, what?
It seems like it, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think you can go wrong there, especially like, if the series stays true to the novel, I think that, the story of Carrie White is timeless. Bullying, you got isolation there and the power that, I mean, I just think, we all know the infamous prom scene and stuff, but I do think that it could make an interesting TV series. So you just got to do it right and cast the right people.
Right.
And yeah, I do think let's go with, I know they want eyeballs, right? They want the money guys and everyone else, but like Allie's talking about. But yeah, get an unknown in there, or someone that's just maybe lower on the radar, but like kind of been around, let's get someone in here I'd like to see some of that, I've been in this industry forever and it's nice to get
I'm always screaming for unknowns, Allie. Or Angela, I'm always screaming for them. I always am. And it's like, it never happens though, Angela. They don't want unknowns. They just don't a lot of times. And I get the idea
Billie
of like,
Eilish.
no, Billie Eilish.
They'll put like an unknown in for like a supporting, day maker role or something. They won't it'll never be like a lead. But I don't know. Maybe let's be hopeful. I'm going to be hopeful.
Do you think they're going to go a little like too high school for this though? Like a high school drama? Or do you think they're going to sometimes they can go too 13 Reasons Why work. There's stuff that does work, but.
Well, because Carrie, it was like a high school prom, so I think they will go tween maybe on this one to get that younger demo in there. Because Carrie, right, like from that time was probably people that are now in their like 50s, 60s, somewhere in that 50s, maybe late 40s, 50s, 60s, somewhere there. So they want to catch on that younger demographic to revive this, I think. Yeah. And they're going to go
tweenies. I just don't want to be CW-ish. But I think that, between what you're saying too, and what Allie's saying too, it might be a good format. I know Lexi's big into the horror stuff here too, but Lexi, what do you think? Carrie, you feeling good about this? Amazon, 8 episodes. You got some good killer horror people behind it. It's got all the right formula, all the elements, right? It can't fail, Lexi, right? It can't fail.
As an expert in Carrie, actually, on the Three Demers, we covered all the Carrie films, and there is a third mini-series television show that was done in, I think the mid-90s, maybe early 2000s.
Dang!
It was closest to the book. It was the most accurate to the book, and I think it was 2 parts, something like that. It was way too long, and it wasn't very good. And I'll tell you, if it follows that at all, that Carrie gets insane. Carrie ends up destroying the whole town, essentially. It's not just whatever. So the last part of that movie gets balls to the wall. But yeah, both films are failures in their own ways. The original film is great as a film on its own, but it doesn't cover the subject matter well, but it's a really good standalone film for Carrie, the original one. The remake film kind of has some good moments, but isn't a very good film. It just has some great moments overall, but it's really a failure. And I think it tries to capture some of the aspects of the book better, but then fails overall. Both films are not good. The remake is really bad overall, the recent one. The sequel's terrible. Carrie 2, The Rage. That's just not even.
Yeah, The Rage.
But the miniseries is really hard to watch, even though it's the most accurate. It's the hardest to watch, the TV series one. I don't know if the Carrie story is interesting enough to carry a TV show. Get it? Carry a TV show. But.
Oh, that was humor.
But and I personally, I'm not a big Carrie fan. I don't think it's one of King's best works. But one thing I will say is this: I think you said it in its time period. I don't think you modernize it. I think modernizing Carrie eliminates a lot of the things that make Carrie work. I think Carrie needs to be of its era. I think technology and modernization of it eliminates the Catholic, elements, those hard pressed things that eliminate her ability to work with society. I think that with social media and cameras and all of the modern things that exist in the world, that Carrie would have more of an ability to have, be isolated but still be able to connect. You know what
That
I
would
mean?
definitely change the whole
Whereas,
thing.
like, whereas like the original story, she's so disconnected because of her mother, and she's so closed off from everyone, and like the whole point of the story is like that she's basically like completely isolated from everyone else, and that isolation is like a big key component of what makes her kind of madness occur, and that like she just wants friends is really the whole story. She's just a person who wants friends. Like that's really the key component of the story, and that if you have like phones and social medias and all those things, that friends can come those ways too. And so there are kind of ways. Cyberbullying is a thing too. There's a way to modernize. I'm not saying you can't, but I think to make it works best to just keep it raw and keep it in its time period. Because the rawness of its time period is what's going to make it work the most effectively. And the thing that also works most effectively for Stephen King is that Stephen King's bullies are
it's like his first book, isn't it?
I don't think it's his first, but it's definitely one of his most cocaine fueled.
It was his first adapted.
He doesn't remember writing it. Like I think that's one of the ones he doesn't remember writing at all. That one.
Oh, really? Too many drugs.
It was just the first one that got adapted into a movie.
Yeah, but King's bullies are so cruel, and they only can work in like the 50s, 60s, and 70s settings that he has. When you modernize them, those bullies don't work as well because like people would be like, whoa, what are you doing, kids? Whereas, like, I don't know, there's something about the time periods like that they work in now. Like, I don't know, you can't come after kids.
I see Allie second guessing this, Lexi. What do you think, Allie?
I don't agree with that part. I think people are just as cruel as they've ever been.
They are, but in a different way.
I think it's better for it to be in the original period.
Like, the King bullies are more physical, is what I'm getting at, I think. Like, they have a tendency of being more able to grab at you and physically do things to you. Whereas a modern bully, you can't grab at people so much nowadays. There's more, you know what I mean? There's more of the social media. There's more of that. You know, you don't touch people so much nowadays. You get in a lot more trouble with that kind of thing. So, that's why I had a problem with the It remake, was bringing it into that early 90s period. I was like, bullies couldn't act like that with coming at the knife and all kinds of stuff. Oh my God, those kids would have gotten in so much trouble. The cops would have.
I actually so disagree with you. I fully disagree with you there.
If a bully had done that to me when I was a kid, he would have been in jail. No question. Because I was that age when that movie was like the age of that movie, and no bully would have done that to me.
Yeah, we're the right age for it, but like I'm from a different place, a smaller place, and like I fully disagree with you, and I think it's probably like locational, regional. Like I'm from the country, stuff went down.
like shit was going down. You need to be very careful, right? It's funny how it doesn't matter where you're at. Like it does matter where you're at. I should say it matters where you're at, where you're growing up. It's like different communities. LA is a lot different than middle of America. It just is. And and it's like interesting how they can maybe adapt it to make it fit. I don't know. I'm intrigued by this. Angela, you're over there too. Do you think again that this is something where they should stay in this time period, or do you think that what Lexi's saying by modernizing it and adding like all the cell phones and stuff like that would it be something better?
TBD on that. I don't know. Honestly, I don't.
I think you're leaning with Lexi here. I think you're leaning with Lexi and Allie here.
I mean, it's, I kind of agree, like the time period, it's nice to stay there maybe and not, you're going to try and remodernize it and do this. I don't know. I mean, some of that stuff it's how it translates. I don't know. It could be a total bust.
Yeah.
It could be okay. I mean, it's tough with a Stephen King, like making it into a TV series. You got so much stuff you got to monitor, you know what I mean? And it's kind of gory and you want I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not so sure.
I think the person that knows the most is GR probably, right?
Can go either way.
Well, I don't know who knows the most.
Can go, yeah.
But
what GR?
I agree in the sense you can't modernize it. Well, if you're going to stay with the book and make it a Stephen King-based show, it has to be in the original time period.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a King fan at all. I do not like his work. It's not my kind of book. I'm sorry. I don't like him.
Okay.
He's a great author, but it's not my kind of book. But
I'm going to tell him you said that, GR. I'm going to tell him.
go right ahead. He didn't want me in the movies anyway. But anyway, I think she's right. If you're going to do this, you got to stay with the book. And too many. Yeah. Hey, Steve, I'm sorry I don't like your book.
I'm calling him on my watch.
Sorry, Steve. Anyway, I'm just saying.
You're a booger.
I think Allie's right. You have to stay with the book if you're going to make it any good at all. And the book is very in depth, and that's why, in a way, I can see where Lexi was coming from. It dragged some in the
8 episodes.
The series they did.
That magical 8.
So maybe I know we talked about that too. The episode counts these days are abysmal. But I mean, that's just the business now. 8 episodes, 6 episodes. You're lucky if you get 10. But that might be a lot more time to expand this narrative, though, to fulfill the book. I think that's always a good thing. Get the full point out there, the true picture of the story, because sometimes the narrative gets lost in these abbreviated abbreviated movies, I should say. So even though movies are getting longer these days, 3 hours, 4 hours, no problem, guys. Sit in that theater, get in there and enjoy. Those popcorn buckets filled.
Do the pilot, see how it goes. See
yeah,
if anyone wants to watch it.
They're just doing there's going. I think though 8 episodes might be good. It might be good. But Carrie's coming back, everybody, one more time.
Yo, player, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when we are live. And if you are able to join our Patreon, please join. Because the Pep Star needs more snickety snacks. Because I'm hungry. Holla back. Love y'all.
Kruse Control.